Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was built to impress anyone who entered it. It was huge, shining with blue crystal walls that reflected the soft golden lights floating in the air. Thousands of alien leaders, ambassadors, and military commanders sat in rising tiers, forming a circle around the central platform. Everyone in the galaxy believed today would be historic. Today was the final session of the peace talks between the Zerath Dominion and humanity. For 6 months, both sides had argued, negotiated, and threatened each other. Every species watched the talks closely because if peace failed, the entire galaxy feared what might happen next, but nobody feared humans more than the Zerath Dominion. On the central platform, the alien leaders whispered nervously as the human delegation entered. Most humans walked with calm and steady steps, but everyone in the hall had learned one lesson. Humans were not calm creatures. They were simply controlled creatures. Their calmness was a mask, one they used right before doing something unexpected. The Galactic Council chairman, a tall alien with glowing purple skin, cleared his throat. Today, he announced, we hope to sign the final agreement of peace between humanity and the Zerath Dominion. Let us begin. A soft wave of approval passed through the crowd. Hope rose in the air like warm sunlight, but hope never stayed long when humans were involved. Across the hall, the human ambassador, Alara Vance, stood tall in her dark uniform. Her face showed no emotion at all. With her were 5 human delegates, each silent and unreadable. Aliens always struggled to understand human expressions, but today, humans looked even stranger than usual, almost cold. The chairman continued speaking, presenting the peace terms. The Zerath Dominion had requested many things: shipping rights, border control, mining access. Humans had refused most of them, but they agreed to smaller terms so the talks could continue. Everyone in the room felt they were one step away from peace, but as the chairman finished reading the agreement, Ambassador Alara did not respond. She simply stared at the Zerath leaders with calm, steady eyes. The Zerath High Commander, a tall creature with sharp bone plates down his back, narrowed his eyes. "Human Ambassador," he said sharply, "you accept these terms." Alara remained silent. The crowd murmured, uneasy. The chairman tried again. "Ambassador Vance, your answer." Still nothing. A chill moved through the room. Silence from a human was never normal. Silence meant they were thinking, and when humans thought silently, something dangerous usually followed. At last, Alara looked at her team. They exchanged a single nod, barely noticeable, and then looked back at the Zerath. Alara spoke, her voice calm but unusually flat. "Humanity withdraws from the negotiations." The hall exploded in noise. Ambassadors shouted. Military leaders jumped from their seats. Species that had watched for months could not believe what they heard. Peace was supposed to be moments away. Why would humans walk away now? The Zerath High Commander slammed his claws against the metal table. "You cannot simply walk away," he roared. "The galaxy needs this treaty." Alara turned her head slightly, her expression still empty. "A treaty without respect is not peace." The Zerath commander stepped forward. "What respect do you humans demand? What more do you want?" Alara gave a very small smile. It was not warm, it was not friendly. It was the kind of smile humans used when they were disappointed. "Not more," she said. "Just honesty." And then, without another word, the human delegation turned and began walking toward the exit. The chairman shouted, "Ambassador, you cannot leave the chamber." But they kept walking. The sound of their boots echoed across the silent hall, heavy and final. It was a sound the galaxy would remember for centuries. As the large doors closed behind the human team, a wave of fear washed through the council. Something felt wrong, something deeper than anger or frustration. The Zerath commander looked shaken. "What game are the humans playing?" he hissed. One of his advisors whispered, "Humans do not bluff. If they leave, they act." That sentence sent a cold shiver through every being who heard it. In the control center above the hall, a technician monitoring communications suddenly gasped. All human transmissions just went dark. She shouted, "Every channel, every frequency. Earth fleet is offline, no signals, no open communication, no diplomatic lines." The hall erupted again. What does that mean? Are they preparing for war? Why would they cut all channels? Something is wrong, very wrong. The Zerath commander turned pale. Humans never shut down their communications, not unless what? The chairman demanded. Unless they are preparing for something the galaxy should fear. The council fell silent again. Fear spread like smoke. Everyone knew humans were strong, but nobody truly understood how far their strength went. Humanity was young, restless, unpredictable. They had risen faster than any species expected. They survived wars others would have lost. They adapted faster than machines. They invented weapons even the Zerath feared. And now they were quiet, not angry, not shouting, not threatening, just silent. Across the galaxy, news channels switched to emergency broadcasts. Planets asked for military updates. Civilizations called for calm, but calm was impossible. Human silence was a warning. In a dark corner of the council chamber, an old alien historian named Tellen Mar, who had spent his entire life studying humanity, watched the empty doorway where the humans had exited. His voice trembled as he whispered to himself, "This is bad. This is very, very bad." Another scholar nearby asked why. They simply walked away. Tellen shook his head slowly. Humans only walk away when they are finished talking, not before. The other scholar frowned. Meaning? Tellen closed his eyes. Meaning humans have a plan and they no longer feel the need to explain it to us. Suddenly the council's main screen flickered. A single message appeared. It came from the human ambassador. Every being in the hall turned to stare at the glowing words. "Peace requires respect. You have none." The message stayed on the screen for several silent seconds before disappearing. No threat, no demands, no angry speech. Just disappointment. But disappointment from humans was worse than anger. It meant they had already decided what to do next. The Zerath commander felt sweat forming under his armor plating. "We pushed them too far," he whispered. "We believed they would bend, but humans do not bend." The chairman tried to calm the council. "Perhaps they only need time. Perhaps they will return." Tellen Mar shook his head again. "You do not understand humans. When they leave like this, they never return with empty hands. They return with consequences." Across the galaxy, sensors and scanners began to report strange readings near human borders. Energy spikes, fleet movements, silent mobilization. Governments everywhere sent emergency queries to Earth. No response. Humanity had gone dark. And when humans went dark, the galaxy knew one thing: the storm was coming. The last moment of Part 1 ends with a wide shot of the Grand Hall, the Council frozen in fear, and the final words from humanity echoing through the galaxy's communication networks like a cold wind. "Peace requires respect. You have none." Then all lights fade and silence follows. When the humans left the Grand Council Hall, the galaxy held its breath. It felt as if the air itself had frozen. Every species sensed that something important had changed, but nobody could understand how deep that change truly was. At first, the council tried to calm itself. The chairman kept repeating, "This is only diplomatic stress. Humans will return." But the words sounded weak, like thin paper trying to stop a storm. The Zerath Dominion, however, was not calm at all. Inside their private chamber, High Commander Varrock paced back and forth. His sharp bone plates rattled against each other, a sign of fear among his species. His advisors stood silently, afraid to speak. "What are they doing?" Varrock snapped. "Why would humans shut down every channel? Why now when we were close to agreement?" One advisor finally spoke. "Commander, perhaps they did not want peace." Varrock glared at him. "Humans always want peace. They simply want peace on their own terms." Another advisor, older and wiser, added softly, "Maybe they realized peace was impossible with us." Varrock stopped walking. His yellow eyes widened with anger, but not at his advisors, at himself. "Did we push too hard? Did we insult them?" He muttered. The advisors exchanged a look. Everyone knew the truth. The Zerath Dominion had underestimated humans again. Milky Way across the galaxy, growing fear throughout the galaxy. News spread like wildfire. Humanity withdraws from peace talks. Earth goes silent, unknown activity detected. Should we prepare for war? Civilizations far from the conflict felt the tension too. Even peaceful species, who had never faced war, felt a strange fear in their hearts. Humans were still young compared to other galactic powers, but they were unpredictable, clever, and fiercely united. A young alien student on a distant moon whispered to her friend, "Do you think humans will attack?" Her friend shook his head. "No, they don't attack without reason." Is an insult a reason? He hesitated. For humans, yes. For humans, maybe it is. Fear traveled faster than ships. Satellite antenna, the first sensor warning in the early hours of the night cycle. The Galactic Defense Network picked up something strange near the border of human space. A small outpost named Rill Station received the first signal. A young officer, barely trained, stared at his screen. "Captain, I think there's movement." The captain frowned. "Movement from where?" "From human territory." "What kind of movement?" The officer swallowed hard. "All kinds." The captain walked over and froze. The scanner showed hundreds of blinking symbols, all shifting and reorganizing with impossible precision. Fleets, factories, drones, everything inside human space seemed to be activating. "Are they mobilizing?" The captain whispered. Before the officer could answer, more alerts appeared. Energy spikes, strategic formations, shipyard activity rising, weapon signatures increasing. The captain's mouth went dry. "Send this to Central Command, now." Within minutes, the warning reached the Galactic Council. Panic followed like thunder after lightning. Brain the historian's terrifying insight back in the Grand Council city. The old historian Tellen Mar sat alone in his quiet study. His hands shook slightly as he reviewed ancient human records, wars, rebellions, victories, losses, everything he had gathered over 40 years of research. A young council assistant entered, trembling. "Master Tellen, they want your analysis." Tellen did not look up. Of course they do, they want someone to tell them humans are bluffing. Are they? The assistant asked. Telin finally lifted his old, tired eyes. Humans never bluff when they are silent. The assistant stepped back. But surely humans won't risk war with the whole galaxy. Telin gave a faint, sad smile. Humans are not planning war, they are planning justice. Justice? Yes, Telin said. In their culture, respect matters more than life. If they feel disrespected, they show the galaxy why they deserve respect. The assistant shivered. What do we do? Pray, Telin whispered. Rocket inside human territory, the silent awakening though no alien could see it directly, something enormous was happening inside human-controlled space. In orbit around Earth, huge shipyards came alive. Robotic arms moved like metal insects, assembling massive starships piece by piece. War carriers woke from sleep mode. Engines glowed with quiet fire. But there was no noise, no broadcasts, no threats, only silent preparation. In deep space, the Titan-class dreadnoughts, ships the size of small cities, activated their cores. Their lights flickered on one by one, forming a long line of stars made by human hands. Even more mysterious were the Black Lantern fleets, elite strike forces that humans never revealed publicly. They moved without any energy signature, like shadows drifting through empty space. Humans were preparing for something huge, something final. I left alien spies report the impossible. The Zareth Dominion had spies placed near human borders. They risked their lives to observe human movements. One spy ship, camouflaged with advanced tech, managed to capture video from far away. The footage showed a massive human structure, larger than any ship ever recorded. The commander of the spy ship gasped. "What is that thing?" A scientist replied, voice shaking. It's not a ship, it's a launcher, a super launcher. A weapon? No, something worse, something we don't understand. Before they could scan further, a strange field surrounded the human structure. Their system shut off for 2 seconds. When everything turned back on, the structure had disappeared. "That's impossible," the scientist cried. The spy ship quickly escaped, shaking in fear. Candle, the galaxy begins to divide. Panic created arguments. Some species said humans were right to withdraw. Others believed humans were preparing for conquest. A peaceful civilization called the Urali held an emergency meeting. One leader said, "Humans helped us in our famine, they are not monsters." Another replied, "But if they are insulted, they act without hesitation." A third leader added, "Maybe we should stay out of this." But the fourth, the wisest among them, said softly, "No one can stay out of humanity's path, not now." Far away, a warrior species called the Drunakai laughed loudly. "Humans think they can scare us. Let them try." But even as they laughed, their generals quietly prepared evacuation plans. Nobody wanted to admit it, but everyone feared the same thing. Humanity might be unstoppable. Satellite, the second warning, a strange energy field. The Galactic Defense Network sent another alert. A strange wave of energy was moving outward from human territory. Not harmful, not destructive, but massive, like a tide rising slowly but powerfully. Scientists argued about its purpose. It's communication. No, it's a shield expansion. No, it's a test. Maybe it's a warning. Nobody could agree. But every scientist agreed on one thing: no species in the galaxy had the technology to create such a wave. Only humans. The galaxy began to feel cornered, as if a quiet predator was circling all of them at once. Movie camera council emergency meeting, rising suspense. Thousands gathered again in the Grand Council Hall. Fear made the air heavy. The chairman spoke first. "We must contact humanity again." "We tried," a technician answered. "They ignore all messages." The Zareth commander slammed his fist. "They cannot ignore the entire galaxy." Telin Mar finally spoke. His voice was old but steady. "Yes, they can, and they will." Everyone turned to him. Telin continued, "Humans speak when they feel heard. They go silent when they have already decided their answer." "And what answer have they decided?" the chairman asked. Telin closed his eyes. "That the galaxy needs a lesson." Silence, deep, painful silence. New Moon, the third warning, a message without words. Late into the night, the galaxy received another transmission. But this time it wasn't words, it was an image. A single image sent across space by humanity. A massive human fleet, thousands of ships lined up in perfect formation. Behind them, Earth shone bright like a blue jewel. At the bottom of the image, just 4 words were written: "Peace needs respect." That was all. No threat, no demand, just a reminder. The galaxy felt the message clearly. Humans were patient, but not anymore. Fire cliffhanger ending for part 2. Deep in human space, a massive object began to move. It was hidden in darkness, larger than any alien could imagine. As it slowly turned, its engines hummed with quiet power. Scanners across the galaxy detected it. The object sent out a faint signal, just 3 chilling words: "Stand by for response." The galaxy froze. Every leader, every soldier, every citizen understood humanity was preparing to answer. The question was, what would that answer be? And the galaxy was terrified to find out. The galaxy could no longer sleep. Every hour, new reports arrived from the borders of human space. Every message brought more questions, more fear, and more silence from Earth. The energy waves were growing stronger. Human fleets were moving. Entire star systems seemed to shift with purpose. But no one knew what that purpose was. Inside the Galactic Council hall, tension had reached breaking point. Leaders who once spoke proudly now whispered nervously. Commanders who once stood tall now watched the screens with frightened eyes. On the main display, a map of the Milky Way showed human territory glowing faint blue. But the glow was spreading slowly, steadily, like a pulse moving through the veins of the galaxy. The chairman pointed. "That pulse, what is it doing?" A scientist replied, voice shaking. "It is organizing something." Organizing what? The scientist swallowed hard. Everything. New moon inside human space, the awakening continues. The truth, unknown to the aliens, was far larger than anyone imagined. Deep inside human territory, hidden among quiet stars, a colossal structure was waking up. The humans called it Project Helios, a project so secret that only a handful of admirals even knew its real name. The structure floated near a dying star. It was massive, so large that it took an entire star system to hide it. It looked like a sphere of black metal, smooth and silent, with bright white rings spinning slowly around it. When the activation signal reached it, the structure responded like a beast returning from long sleep. Tiny lights began to glow across its surface, first hundreds, then thousands, then millions. The rings spun faster. The metal sphere trembled. Then a soft hum came from within, a sound so low it felt like the universe itself was breathing. Inside the structure, machines awakened, systems restarted, and energy flowed through old channels. The humans had built something the galaxy was never meant to see. Satellite alien spies watched the impossible near the edge of human space. A small Zerath spy vessel floated in complete silence. The crew were some of the Dominion's best, trained to gather information without being seen. Their main screen flashed with warnings. "Impossible readings," the navigator whispered. "Human energy output is rising beyond recorded limits." The captain leaned closer. "Zoom in." The screen focused on human space. What they saw made even the experienced captain feel cold. Massive lines of human warships were moving out of dry docks, huge carriers, sleek destroyers, armored frigates, but they were not moving randomly. They were assembling with perfect precision, forming large geometric patterns, triangular arrays, circular rings, spiral formations. Why such strange formations? The pilot asked. The captain didn't answer. He couldn't. The formations were beautiful but unnatural. As the spy ship watched, the human ships suddenly blinked, each one sending a silent flash across space. Then, without warning, the entire formation vanished. Gone, no trace, the pilot gasped. Did they warp? No, the captain said, voice trembling. Warp drives leave signatures, this leaves nothing. Then where did they go? Nobody knew, and that terrified them more than any weapon. A new signal, the galaxy panics back in the council. A loud alarm rang across the hall. A technician shouted, incoming transmission, not words, coordinates. The chairman frowned. Coordinates to what? Technician stared at his screen. Coordinates leading nowhere, empty space. Why send empty coordinates? Telenmar, the historian, stood up quickly. Because it is not empty anymore. Explain, the chairman demanded. Telen pointed at the map. Humans build in silence. They hide in plain sight. They place their greatest creations where no one looks. Dark space, void regions, dead stars. The map zoomed in. A small region of dark space glowed faint white. What is that glow? The chairman asked. A warning, Telen said quietly. Humans are showing us something they want us to see. The Zerath commander felt his nerves turn icy. Why show us anything? Telen's voice was grave. Because humans only show their weapons when they want the galaxy to understand the cost of disrespect. The council chamber felt colder. Milky Way inside the dark region. A human marvel, an automated probe from a neutral species, had already reached the coordinates. Its drone camera transmitted live footage across the galaxy. What appeared on the screen shocked everyone. Floating in the darkness was a massive ring-shaped machine. It was far bigger than anything ever built by any species. Stars looked small next to it. The outer surface was covered in black metal panels that absorbed all light, while the inner side glowed with soft golden lines like veins of energy. The entire structure rotated slowly, creating a ripple effect in space itself. The council hall gasped in fear. What is that thing? A Drunakai general shouted. A weapon, a scientist whispered. A gateway, a merchant guessed. No, Telenmar breathed. It is something ancient, something we have no name for. The Zerath commander stared at the screen. Humans built this, humans, when? The answer was horrifying, over hundreds of years, in complete secrecy while pretending to be a young race. The chairman whispered, "We never knew," Talon responded. "Humans learn quickly. They adapt faster than any species. While we argued, they built. While we doubted them, they planned." The golden lights on the ring grew brighter. Then a pulse shot outward, faster than light, across the galaxy. Every ship, every satellite, every sensor detected it. High voltage, the pulse, humanity's message of power. The pulse wasn't harmful. No one died, no ships broke apart. It simply moved through everything like a gust of wind passing through long grass. But when the pulse passed, something strange happened. All weapons across the galaxy, lasers, cannons, missiles, flickered for half a second. Even those inside military bases deep underground, all of them, in perfect synchronization. The Drunikai general froze. Did humans just shut off every weapon in the galaxy? A scientist corrected him. Not shut off, just touched, as if testing their reach. Talon spoke softly. "Humans are not showing us a weapon, they are showing us control." The Zereth commander clenched his fists. "This is impossible. Humans do not have this technology." Talon turned to him. "Commander, humans have far more than we ever believed." Flying saucer human silence grows heavier. Hours passed. No word from Earth. No threat. Just a galaxy trying to understand the message hidden in silence. The Drunikai generals began to argue. "We must prepare for war. With what weapons? They can shut them down. Then we must surrender." Humans have not asked for surrender. The confusion was worse than fear. The chairman addressed the council again. "We must send another message." But the technician shook his head. "Humans are still ignoring all contact." The Zereth commander growled. "This is punishment for walking out." "No," Telenmar corrected him. "This is warning." Rocket inside the human structure, a second awakening deep inside Project Helios, a new system activated. A platform opened at the center of the ring. A swirling sphere of white light formed, unstable, humming with power. The humans called this the Unity Core. It had one purpose, to bring every human fleet together instantly, anywhere in the galaxy. The core stabilized and a massive war fleet appeared inside the ring, hundreds of ships forming a perfect circle. They didn't fire, they didn't broadcast, they just waited, silent, ready, patient. "I left the galaxy finally understands." Back at the council, a new message appeared from human space. A simple text, "One chance remains." No voice, no signature, just the message. The hall erupted. One chance for what? To restore peace. To surrender to them? Or is it a countdown? Telenmar stepped forward and spoke clearly, his voice echoing through the room. "Humans have not declared war, they have not attacked. They have simply shown the galaxy that they can choose the future if they wish." The chairman asked, "Then what are they asking for?" Talon responded, "Respect and fear. In equal measure." Fire Part 3 cliffhanger. Inside the colossal ring, the human fleet slowly began to rotate, forming a spiral like a galaxy inside a galaxy. The Unity Core glowed brighter. A deep sound vibrated across space. Something was coming, something the galaxy had never seen before. Then a final human message flashed across every screen, "Prepare for our reply." The galaxy trembled. Humanity was ready. Their reply would change everything. The galaxy was no longer afraid of war. It was afraid of not understanding humanity. Every species had studied human battle tactics, human strategy, human courage, but nobody had studied human patience. And now, that patience had ended. The activation of the Unity Core and the silent awakening of the colossal ring had shaken the galaxy's confidence to its core. Civilizations that once mocked humans now whispered in fear. Military empires who believed humans were too emotional or too weak now trembled at the idea that humanity had simply been holding back. The galaxy realized something chilling. Humans had not come to the negotiation table to avoid conflict. They came to measure the galaxy's intentions. And the galaxy failed the test. Milky Way. Back in the council hall, fear turns to desperation. The Grand Council Hall was filled with panic. Leaders spoke over each other, their voices trembling. "We must send ships to the coordinates. No, if we approach, humans may see it as a threat. What if this is the start of complete domination? Has humanity already taken control of our systems?" The chairman tried to maintain order, but even he felt dread curling inside him. "Please, silence. We must think clearly," he said, though his voice cracked. The aliens ignored him. Only Telenmar, the historian, remained calm. He watched the chaos the way humans watch storms, quietly, with respect and fear. He finally spoke, his voice echoing through the chamber. "We are thinking of the wrong danger." Everyone froze. "What danger?" the chairman asked. Talon faced them, his eyes reflecting the flickering holograms. "Everyone is imagining humans attacking, humans destroying us, humans conquering our planets, but that is not their way." The Zereth commander scoffed. "They just activated a device that touches every weapon in the galaxy. If that is not a threat." "It is not a threat," Talon interrupted. "It is a warning. Humans are showing us if war begins, it will end before we even lift a weapon." The hall fell painfully quiet. Tellin continued, humans do not want to destroy us. They want to control the violence of the galaxy. They want to stop future wars before they happen. A scientist whispered, peace through control, peace through fear, Tellin corrected softly. Satellite, meanwhile, the human peace drones wake far away beyond the borders of human territory. A series of small, dark objects floated out of hidden chambers. They were shaped like smooth teardrops of black metal and emitted no visible light. At first glance, they seemed harmless, but nothing humans built for war or peace was harmless. These were the Peace Enforcer units, known only within secret human councils. They were created for one purpose: to stop violence anywhere in the galaxy instantly. No guns, no bombs, no radiation. They used something far more terrifying: absolute technology superiority. As they activated, each drone sent out a faint, silent pulse. Not a weapon, just a signal, a map, a set of targets. Millions of them. They moved with slow grace like falling snow, but their presence felt heavier than any weapon. They drifted toward the edges of alien territories, entering without resistance. Alien borders, usually protected by defense networks, didn't even detect them. The drones simply passed through every shield, every field, every layer of protection like soft smoke through cloth. The galaxy noticed too late. Stop sign weapons turn useless across the galaxy. The first report came from Drunikai territory. A battle training station suddenly shut down as all gun systems went dark. Cannons froze mid-rotation. Missiles stopped responding. Laser turrets flickered like dying candles. The Drunikai general shouted at his officers, "Fix it." "We can't," an engineer cried. "It's like the weapons don't exist anymore. Find the source." But before they could search, a peace drone drifted quietly through the station window, phasing through the walls like a ghost. The soldiers froze as the drone passed through their control room, scanning each screen. It never attacked, it never spoke. It simply confirmed every weapon was disabled and left. The Drunikai general collapsed into his seat. "Humans have taken our claws." The second report came from the Urali, a peaceful species. Their defense ships shut down too. They were terrified but also relieved. "Perhaps humans want no more war," their leader whispered. The third report came from the Zerath Dominion, and that one changed everything. Cross the Zerath, try a secret strike. Zerath High Commander Varrock could not accept that humans were now the dominant force. He gave a secret order: prepare the shadow bomb. We will strike the human ring before they fire it. The shadow bomb was an illegal weapon, capable of tearing space itself. Only the Dominion had built one, and they had sworn to never use it. But fear makes desperate creatures. In a hidden base, Zerath engineers loaded the bomb into a stealth ship. The ship activated cloaking and moved toward human territory, but it never reached. Halfway there, a single peace drone appeared before it, impossible to detect, impossible to track. The drone scanned the bomb. Every system inside the shadow bomb shut down instantly. Then something even stranger happened. The drone sent a message directly into the Zerath ship systems. Not a threat, not an order. A single sentence: "This violates peace." The Zerath commander inside the ship felt sweat drip down his back. Humans know everything. He tried to activate the cloaking again, nothing worked. He tried to activate the engines, dead. He tried to send a message home, blocked. Finally, the drone gently pushed the Zerath ship backward out of human space like an adult pushing away a toy. The crew was stunned. Humans had allowed the ship to live, allowed the Dominion to keep their secret. But the message was clear: humans would not allow any attack from anyone at any time. Light bulb, the galaxy realizes the truth. An emergency broadcast interrupted all communication lines. It came from the Urali, who had analyzed the peace drones. Their scientists spoke with awe and fear. These drones are not weapons. They are guardians. They stop violence before violence begins. Another scientist added, humans have created a force that prevents war without firing a single shot. The council hall was silent again. A merchant leader finally said, humanity has not built something terrifying. They have built something inevitable. The chairman whispered, they want to become the galaxy's peacekeepers. Tellin Mar corrected him again. No, humanity wants to become the galaxy's decision makers. Glowing star inside Project Helios, the core's true purpose deep within the colossal ring, the Unity core continued to brighten. But this time, something new formed above it. A hologram of the entire Milky Way. But what shocked even the humans inside the structure was what the hologram displayed: not borders, not fleets, not territories, threat potential. Every civilization flickered with red or yellow markers showing their capability to cause war. Zerath Dominion glowed dark red, Drunikai glowed orange, Urali glowed white, peaceful. Inside the ring, Admiral Soren spoke softly, the galaxy has lost balance. Another admiral nodded, we must restore it before it destroys itself. Humanity wasn't preparing a weapon. Humanity was preparing order. Fire final scene, humanity steps forward at the end of the cycle. Another human message arrived to every device in the galaxy. Still no voice. Still no face. Just text, peace is not chosen, peace is enforced. The message continued, we will stop only those who attempt violence, all others will remain free. One last line blinked in bright white, your choices decide our actions. Every planet, every leader, every soldier, every citizen stared at those words. Fear changed into something new, respect, and acceptance. For the first time in history, the galaxy felt that humans were not the threat. Humans were the shield. But nobody knew what that shield would do next. And the galaxy waited, silent, trembling for humanity's final reply. The galaxy had seen humanity's message. It had seen their fleets vanish and reappear like ghosts. It had seen drones pass through walls and silence weapons without firing back. But the galaxy had still not seen the final answer. The true reply. Humanity's reply. Milky Way, the galaxy holds its breath. The unity core inside the colossal ring glowed brighter than ever. So bright that even distant worlds could see a strange shimmer in the night sky, as if a new star had appeared out of nowhere. On Urali Prime, children pointed at the sky and said, look, a new light. On Drunikai worlds, hardened warriors trembled as their commanders whispered, is it a weapon or a warning? On Zareth Dominion planets, citizens hid in their homes as military leaders tried to calm them. But nothing could calm a galaxy waiting for judgment. Telen Mar, the historian, stood on a balcony overlooking the council city. He felt something shift in the air like the first drop of rain before a storm. He whispered to himself, humans are coming. Police car light, the human transmission begins suddenly. Across every star system, every screen blinked to black. Every broadcast stopped. Every advertisement faded. Every communication froze. Instead, a single white symbol appeared, a glowing human hand. 5 fingers, palm open, not a fist, not a weapon, a gesture of warning and peace. A soft hum followed, then a voice that echoed not from speakers but directly through the galaxy's communication channels as if space itself were speaking. It was the voice of the human ambassador, Alara Vance. Calm, steady, cold. People of the galaxy, she began. You wished for peace. We offered peace. You refused it. In the council hall, every being froze. Alara continued, for centuries humanity was patient. We observed, we learned, we listened. We believed the galaxy could grow together. Her voice sharpened. But peace cannot exist without respect. And today the galaxy showed us it does not respect those who seek balance. The Zareth commander scowled. She is accusing us. Telen raised a hand to silence him. Listen. Flying saucer humanity reveals its true purpose. Alara's voice filled every corner of the galaxy. We do not seek war. We do not seek conquest. We seek stability. The symbol of the human hand changed, now showing a galaxy wrapped inside the 5 fingers. This galaxy is in danger, not from us, from itself. A Drunikai general whispered, she's not wrong. Alara continued, too many empires want power. Too many leaders use fear. Too many species believe they can threaten without consequence. Her tone grew colder. No more. The screen changed again, now showing the colossal ring. Fleets rotated around it like glowing stars. Project Helios was not built for battle. It was built to protect the galaxy from violence. Millions watched in stunned silence. Every drone you have seen, every energy pulse, every disabled weapon was a demonstration. Then she said the words that froze every heart. Now we begin the real operation. High voltage operation. Quiet dawn, the hologram shifted again and showed maps of the Milky Way. Red lights pulsed over dangerous systems, conflict zones, pirate sectors, war borders, illegal weapon factories, Zareth black sites. Alara's voice echoed, we name this Operation Quiet Dawn. Telen Mar whispered, a dawn brings light or burns everything away. Alara explained, Operation Quiet Dawn has one purpose, to silence every threat that could start a war. The words sounded calm, too calm. We will not destroy planets, we will not conquer governments, we will simply remove the ability to harm others. A council member shouted, remove how? As if answering directly, Alara said, by taking away the tools of war. Fire the drones, move peace drones across the galaxy activated in perfect unison. It moved like a silver wind, silent, graceful, unstoppable. On one world, a war factory preparing missiles watched in shock as drones floated in, scanned each missile, and melted them into harmless dust. On another, a pirate fleet tried to fire on a drone, but their weapons refused to activate. The drone passed through their ships like a shadow, deactivating engines and leaving them drifting in space. On a battlefield between 2 minor species, the drones suddenly appeared overhead. Every gun shut down, every tank went quiet, every bomb froze. The soldiers looked up terrified as a single drone projected human text, stand down, peace is enforced. They dropped their weapons, not because they were ordered, but because they understood there was no longer any choice. Across the galaxy, fighting stopped. Not by treaty, not by diplomacy, not by threat. By human technology that no one could resist. Human intentions become clear back in the council hall. The visuals continued. Alara's voice explained. Violence is no longer allowed. War is no longer possible. The galaxy will learn a new kind of peace, one with boundaries. The chairman hesitated. Are you ruling us? Alara's calm voice answered instantly. No, we are protecting you from yourselves. We do not want your worlds. We do not want your resources. We want peace. The Zerath commander stood, finally losing control. You are forcing your will on us. This is domination. Alara replied, if preventing you from harming others is domination, then yes, we will dominate violence wherever it appears. The entire hall went silent. Her voice softened. Humanity has suffered enough war. We refuse to watch history repeat on a galactic scale. Shooting star, the final demonstration. The screen shifted once more. Now it showed the Unity core glowing like a miniature sun inside the massive human ring. The fleets rotated faster, forming shapes no alien had ever seen, complex spirals, folding patterns, shifting waves. Alara spoke. These formations are not for attack, they are for protection. The aliens didn't understand, so Alara showed them. The Unity core released a single pulse, a thin wave of energy spreading outward at the speed of thought. Wherever the pulse passed, violent energy signatures vanished. Illegal weapons disarmed. Hidden bombs shut down, experimental war engines powered off. The galaxy felt it. Weapons were no longer tools of power, they were simply useless. I left the final message. Now the screen faded to pure black. One final sentence appeared. This is humanity's reply. The galaxy stared, breathless. Then the second line appeared. We do not start wars. A pause, then the third, but we end them. The message repeated across every world, every ship, every outpost, until the meaning reached every mind in the Milky Way. Humans were not conquerors. They were not tyrants. They were not aggressors. They were guardians. Guardians with the strength to silence entire empires without firing a shot. Guardians who had chosen peace not because they were weak, but because they were strong enough to enforce it. Milky Way, the galaxy stands in awe. Talon Mar spoke softly into the stunned silence. It is done. The age of war is over. The chairman whispered, humanity has changed everything. The Zerath commander, once fearless, now bowed his head. We misjudged them. We believed them weak because they wanted peace. A new realization spread through the galaxy. Humans didn't become terrifying because they built weapons. They became terrifying because they built choices. The choice to stop destruction. The choice to protect life. The choice to end violence forever, and they had made their choice. Star final scene. Humanity's future begins inside Project Helios. Admiral Soren looked at the glowing Unity core. Is the galaxy ready? He asked. Alara Vance stepped beside him, watching the map of the stars. Ready or not, she said softly, they will learn. Learn what? Soren asked. Alara smiled, gentle, tired, but full of pride. That humanity is not here to rule the galaxy, we are here to help it survive itself. The Unity core hummed like a living sun. The fleets moved in perfect harmony. The drones continued enforcing peace across the stars. And the galaxy, for the first time in its long history, stood quiet. Not from fear, but from understanding. Humanity's reply had been delivered, and the galaxy would never forget it.